What's up? It's the Brunch Breakdown. Didi out here in Los Angeles. Chris and Dan are in Pittsburgh. Today on the show, we haven't been here in 2 weeks, so good luck to everybody listening wanting to hear us talk about certain things because I don't know where this is all going to go. We've been traveling, we've been doing a bunch of stuff, so this is going to be fun. But today we're going to be talking Shedeur Sanders and Atlanta Falcons and this whole thing because this not child that people keep calling him a child did something just really stupid and cost his family $100,000. So we've got a fun topic about that. And Chris and Dan were without power this week. A lot of people in the area were in the Pittsburgh area were out of power this week. So we've got a fun topic about that and what you would choose if you had no power. What would you power up in your house? And we got beer, we got food, we got more. It's the Brunch Breakdown. Dan, let everybody know where they can find us.
Yeah, we got it all. And all is also like everywhere, and everywhere and all is where you can find the podcast.
Yes, sir.
All places podcasts are available. Everywhere podcasts are available. You can find the Brunch Breakdown. A new episode comes your way each and every Wednesday. Follow or subscribe wherever you prefer to listen. That episode's going to come, boom, right to you. Except when we take a week off like we did last week and didn't tell anybody. But we're back.
Chris Berman's on the podcast. Welcome.
Boom. Back. We're back this week. Full video episodes are available on our Facebook page, also our YouTube page, and on Spotify right there in the app. You can watch the videos as well. Those premiere at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Wednesdays, but on demand anytime you'd like to watch after that. We're everywhere on social media at Brunch Breakdown. And of course, we are finally updating the Sounds of Brunch. It's also back and better than ever. Check it out exclusively on Spotify. It gets updated each and every Friday. Last week's music, this week's music, for your listening pleasure and enjoy.
Beautiful. Well, it's time to get random topics off our chest. Christopher Gates, let's go.
All right, well, we're going to talk about the whole power outage thing, so I'll save my rant on that for, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, a half hour from now, whenever it happens.
For real.
So I will just share this then because, part of the reason we didn't record last week is because I was in California. So I spent a lot of times on airplanes, and I just don't how is it 2025 and we have not figured out a way for the captain in the airplane to talk legibly to the people on the airplane? I don't understand. We are doing a podcast right now, 3,000 miles apart from each other. I'm 15 rows behind this motherfucker driving the plane, and I can't understand a word that he said. How is that possible? How is that possible? It's always like
Captain speaking from the flight deck. We're 35,000 feet. Weather in Pittsburgh, 65 degrees. Thank you for joining.
What is that? What is that cadence? What is that? Kevin James has a joke that he always told about phone number cadence. When you're getting somebody's phone number, it's like bum ba ba bum ba ba bum ba bum ba, right? But that cadence that Dan said is how it is, but it's not even like the TV reporter style, like reporting live, Sal Palantonio, ESPN. It's not even that. It's not even that. It's just the most ridiculous. I feel like they're doing it just to screw with everybody so that you actually don't know what's going on. But it's infuriating to me because I know most people don't even attempt to listen, but I do. And I don't know why that I do. But I always pause whatever I'm listening to, or I'll take a headphone out to see if I can hear what's going on. And it doesn't help at all. And it's just very, very frustrating because I know that actually sometimes they are communicating information. I want to know, are we arriving earlier than expected? Are we arriving a little bit later than expected? Here's a big one. The gate we're arriving at, okay? Because Katie and I had to run across the airport in Phoenix, Arizona to get to our next flight because our original flight was delayed and we had to change all of our flights around. We still made it home around the same time we expected to, but it was just a complete shit show. And so we knew we didn't have a lot of time landing in Phoenix to get to the next flight. I know this guy told us what gate we were arriving at. Couldn't understand a word he said, which is really frustrating. Sometimes they tell you the weather, which is nice, right? Hey, what am I going to get blasted with when I walk out of this plane? Sometimes it's 20 degrees because you're back in Pittsburgh. Welcome home. Don't like that. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's beautiful and it's nice. And this they're still using walkie-talkie technology in an era where we have access to all information in our pocket on a computer that can dictate clearly to us. I could probably ask ChatGPT to tell me like where I am on the airplane and the most, up-to-date updates, and it could do a better job than the captain of the airplane. So that's it. I don't understand how it's still possible. How have we not improved this? Everything about the flight experience has gotten worse over the years. But if we could just improve that, be nice.
So this is beautiful. And as somebody who has spoken into the most expensive microphones, the cheapest of microphones, I have microphones stapled to my chest. Like I have microphones, I'm talking to them all the time. And I've never sounded like that because otherwise people would never be able to hear me. Which I have always thought of the whole airplane experience, the whole flight experience, whatever. It's the pre-flight showing you all the stuff with pulling the stuff down if there's an emergency, all that stuff. I've just always thought of that as something that maybe back in the day, the microphones were better for the pilot to talk to you because actually flying wasn't all that safe. And it maybe the people who were showing you all the stuff to do in an emergency, maybe they were more intense back in the day. And I need to ask somebody older about this. So if you're older listening to the Brunch Breakdown, I need to know, were they more intense? Because all this does is make me think flying is ungodly safe. And I know there are some incidents, there are accidents that happen and things like that in the air, emergency landings, blah, blah, blah. But like flying is unbelievably safe. And since you can't hear the pilot, so like it's just safe. Like if we couldn't hear the driver, like I can talk to a driver, whether I'm in an Uber, whether I'm just in the car with my friends, I can talk to the driver. I can hear that person clearly. Anybody, kids, old people, whatever, we're all right there. We can hear you. But like the person who's flying a plane with hundreds of people on it, sometimes, like if you can't hear them, then you must be really, really safe because they know you can't hear them. They could easily change the mics on a plane. They change everything else. It's like you're on a plane where like all the way to the back, they've got leather on the seats. That's not how it was 2 years ago when you flew Delta or whatever, but now it is. But the microphone's still from the 1950s. I think that just shows you how safe flying is. Because if you can't hear him, whatever he's saying isn't important. So
this is Steel City Dan travel chest segment written all over it. So I'm all here for it. I'm all here for it, Chris. It's amazing how, kind of to your point, the captain can literally, at 35,000 feet in the air, can talk to any airport in the world around the globe. But 50 feet behind him, they're like, "What did he say? We're landing now, or we got to go around. We got what's happening?" And I get the same thing from like if you've ever been on a cruise, and the cruise director will come on once, twice, sometimes 3 times a day. Sometimes the announcements are really important, and sometimes they're just like for funsies. So anytime you hear the little bell on a cruise, it's just like, everybody shut up, be quiet. We want to hear the cruise director. This could be important. But we don't turn the volume up on the plane, and we don't turn them up on the cruise either. We need to do something about it. We need to hear from the important people a little more clearly. So Matthew McConaughey might be up there, and 35,000 feet. Thank you for flying. And we can't have that anymore. We can't have it. We got to be better.
If there's any airline pilots that listen to this podcast, I would like to know, because if you do fly planes and you listen to this podcast, we're going to dedicate an entire episode to you, and we're going to talk that way.
Bring them on. The open invite to the table. Let's go. We need to break it down. They're like, we got it all in the black box, but what you said to the passengers, we have no idea.
It just like, it reminds me of, I don't know if you were ever at a school when they got a new PA system. Like, I remember when we got a new PA system in my high school, which I'm sure that was like replaced from like the 1970s, and it was like replaced in like 2001 or whatever. And I remember when they got it, and it was like, oh my God, you could hear my principal so clear. It was like everything, like you're just like running the class. You could hear anything. It was like, this is nuts. And that was in like 2003. And I'm like, so I don't know what they're doing in planes. I don't know why they're not replacing the PA system in planes.
We have to stop because you're making me more pissed off, Didi. You're making me realize that when we were like 14 years old, we had morning announcements on television. Okay?
Yeah.
How could I watch my dipshit peers do morning announcements like they're broadcast TV and I can't hear the airplane pilot? Let's go. Dan.
That's what we should do. I want to see the pilot. Well, why don't we have a screen on the back of every seat? For some reason, those are going away. Hey, listen, how about this? Here's one. Here's one. If you're deaf, what do you do? You have no idea what's going on. You have no clue. What are they doing for those people? I'm gonna see a screen. I want to see a broadcast. I want to see closed captioning. I can't imagine flying deaf is fun.
That's a
to your point, like the safety instruction, they're like really very clear. Sometimes they're intense, sometimes they're not. Okay, you can at least see what's going on. If you're deaf, you're like, you can see people like going like, what? And you have no idea what's going on. We need to help those people out. I want a screen. I want closed captioning. I want bulleted lists. Where are we? What are we doing? Give me the pilot's pre-notes of what he's about to broadcast to everybody. So then I can know whether or not I need to listen closely or be like, okay, we're all good here.
Dan wants a teleprompter is what he's asking.
I want it. Give it to me.
Wait, so if you know how, like, oftentimes you have to denote if you need to request accommodations, like if you're deaf, do they have to provide you with a signer on the plane?
Dude, great question. Or do they like write things down and give it to you?
Yeah, maybe
like
that's
as every announcement. Fasten seatbelt sign. I mean, with that you can at least see the light on, but like
all
the other announcements,
the announcements on the
no
plane
idea.
Make us all feel like we're deaf and we can't hear. So
right.
Everybody.
It's helping everybody. It's really helping everybody. That's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah.
Look at this. Just as predicted, we went from Chris is mad he can't hear the announcements to what are the accessibility regulations on airplanes?
Right. We need to, this stuff isn't being talked about, and we're here to do that.
Why we only have 2 topics planned for today.
He's looking deep into it.
He's really getting into it.
He is. He's going ADA on airplanes.
This really, I needed to know. I was like, this is really going to bother me, like, for the rest of the show. So I had to find this out. Yes, there are assistive devices that if you are deaf, you are given on the airplane. And they can even on some planes, it comes up on your TV screen.
But they pulled them away.
But apparently on some flights, like some where they have like the TVs on a lot of the airplanes, you can do that. But yeah, I know they're taking a lot of them away because of iPads and stuff like that. But if you connect to like the Wi-Fi or whatever, they have like, their own service that's free there. You can just like do the plane tracker.
Yeah.
It comes up on things like that. So like they have the closed captioning. You can see that. And yeah, there's like other just like hearing devices that you can just like have and you can, whatever. So,
okay, well, we all need that.
Yeah, right.
We all need that. And if it's free, that's what I'm doing next time on a plane.
Anyone can do it. So they have the devices that are very rarely used as well.
And I know we got to get to something else, but like they even took away the little radio in the armrest. Mm-hmm. Remember there used to be a little radio there, and if you would listen to any of the stations, it would come over the broadcast. It didn't fix the pilot talking like he was talking into a reverse speaker, but still, baby steps. We're trying to get there, people. We're trying.
Jesus. Oh, Dan, get it off your chest.
Happy to. Airplane pilots. No, I would love to. Could easily go on. But after all these years of attending, I don't know how many concerts I've ever attended in my life. I'm finally making the announcement loud and clear, that I'm going to start my own record label right here, right now. That's the announcement. Big news. Starting my own record label. However, I am only interested in signing bands where the lead singer is not the most attractive member of the band. Okay, that's the exclusivity within my record label. It's getting a little old to me. Here we go. That a lot of the bands that I see and have seen recently, like the lead singer also happens to be the most attractive person in the band, and that's just not fair in a number of ways. Like, you get to look good and have the voice. Chris, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I am I am so
Drunk 11 frontman.
I want you to talk about this for 10 minutes. I really
I don't know.
I want to see where this goes.
I don't know where this is going.
So Chris knows, you know, we had some attractive people in our band. Was he, and he was the lead singer. Was he the most attractive? You be the judge. So I think too many labels focus on that commercial ability to sell the look of a band, when honestly, I think that could not matter any less in this era right now. Like, I don't care what you look like. And frankly, even like based on what young men look like today in their teens and early 20s,
A bunch of milky chances.
The women don't care about what you look like either, right? They don't care either. So don't give me that. Have you seen some of these haircuts? Like, come on, let's get real. A little besides the point, but there's plenty of unattractive people who are talented and popular, right? Plenty of unattractive people that are both talented and popular. Ed Sheeran, not the most attractive band in the world. My boy, Teddy Swims, admittedly not a sex symbol. Maybe to some, not to most. DJ Khaled. Not going to say anything. You know what I'm talking about. Jelly Roll. Okay. Louis Capaldi. These are unattractive folks, but they're very talented and very good. And they don't need to be beautiful to be popular. It doesn't need to be a part of the equation. So we just need to give super talented people who don't have the front man or front woman look more of a chance. And I'm here to kind of lead that revolution. Let's see it. Let's see less attractive people be the front people of bands, being the lead singers. There's not enough of them. And I'm going to be the first to sign and take this thing to new heights. Chris, you're on board.
Why? Why?
It's annoying. It's annoying. It's annoying. I don't need it. I don't need it.
What's the name of your record label going to be?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Like, I'll go Records or something?
I'll go Records. Yes. I love it. I love it. And I'm not saying the whole band has to be ugly. Like, I want a band where everybody in the crowd's like, damn, look at the drummer or look at the bass player. Stud muffin.
It's never going to be bass player, Dan.
Well, that's my point. It needs to be. We need
Pete
more
Wentz
of that.
is like the only attractive bass player that ever lived.
Ooh, Butterface.
See, fair. Fallout Boy. Great example. Great example. Fallout Boy. More Fallout Boy. I need more of that. I'm so sick of these. Like, I'm at these concerts with people that are literally half my age, by the way. And it's like goo goo gaga over the lead singer. And I'm like, that dude's way more talented over there just because he doesn't look as nice. Let's shift some focus around. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know that artists are going to be lining up for your record label based on what you are publicly saying you're searching for. Oh, I'm ugly. Will you sign me? You know what I mean? Like,
listen, it's you get to a point where it's like, listen, you're independent. It's not working out. We got a home for you right here. Okay. Okay. You ever heard of Jelly Roll? Right. His face looks like a jelly roll. That can be you.
Oh my God. Oh God. All right. Well, before we offend too many people, so
Louis Capaldi's ugly.
Fam. All right. So I don't know if this has happened to you, or maybe it's happened to you recently or whatever. But it hadn't happened to me in a while. But like yesterday was the Kentucky Derby. Okay. Kentucky Derby means something to me. It means a little bit more to me than most people. Same, I feel very similar to boxing. My family loved boxing. My uncle used to take me to the racetrack, all these things. So I turned on the Kentucky Derby. We have a lot of people over here yesterday, not for the Derby, just like, friends and all this stuff. So we had a bunch of people over yesterday. Raj is in town. And they turn on TV and I see the track of the Kentucky Derby. And I was like, yo, this is going to be a crazy race. They were like, and people just looked at me like, how do you know? And I was like, dude, the track is muddy. Like, this is going to be a chance for like 50 to 1 shot. Someone's going to come out of nowhere because this track is like maybe the most disgusting track I've ever seen. I don't know if you saw this yesterday, but it was absolutely just disgusting. The track was. And I'm talking about it, and I'm just like going on this like rant in my head because, that's what people do who talk for a living. They just keep talking. And all these people are just staring at me like I just said the craziest shit in the world. And I'm like, oh, I guess lots of people don't know about horse racing. And
interesting.
Yeah, because I know a lot about it. And so they were just looking at me like I was crazy. And so there's people that I've known for a few months, people I've known for a couple years, all this stuff. And they're just like, whoa. That's weird. So I'm pretty sure they all think that Siobhan's husband is a degenerate gambler, because otherwise, why would you know all this about horse racing? And I just was going through my head, just like situations that you're in, and you're like, man, maybe I should have just held back a little bit. Just been like, you know what? No. But then I thought, wouldn't be more fun. Wouldn't have the story to tell in the brunch breakdown about how everyone just got silent at the party while I was talking about horse racing. And I wasn't even talking about it intensely either. It was just like, I was just like saying it. And like, it was, but this was all news to everybody else. And so, I don't know if you guys have been in a situation where people, where you just, people were just like, wait, why do you know so much about that? That's weird. And that's where I was yesterday. Just felt like getting that off my chest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that off the wall to suggest that like anything moving on a track that looks like you'd be running in like pudding snack packs would be hard.
Bam.
Like it looked messy, right? And so like if a car is driving in mud, it doesn't go well. If you're running in sand, it doesn't go well. So like horses running in snack packs, it's probably not gonna, it's kind of probably something weird's gonna happen, right? Like I feel like that's fair. But yeah, at the same time, Didi, no one pays attention to this sport.
Right. Not unless they pay attention to the second, what's this? No, after the Derby, it's the Belmont Stakes?
Preakness.
Everybody pays attention at the Preakness because they're like, well, if the horse that won the Kentucky Derby wins again, then we got a little show to watch. Everybody only cares about the Triple Crown after the Kentucky Derby, and it's kind of annoying because it's like happened twice.
Yeah. And sometimes they don't even run in the races now. They're
right.
Like, yeah. They don't even do all of them anymore.
Right.
So,
right. I mean, it's first of all, it's kind of amazing that some of these horses are mudders, right? His mudder was a mudder. They're like, yeah, you know what? It's been raining in Louisville for like a week. It's a mud pit out there. But we have to race these 1,000-pound animals at 40 miles an hour in front of these people. When they're like, guys, it's raining. We have to delay this baseball game.
And dude, thank you. That was where I was going. Was like, think about this. What Dan just said, plus the fun fact that if a horse gets injured in it, they're going to get killed. Okay.
Yeah.
But then like Ryan Vogelsong can't pitch in a drizzle. What are we talking about? It's unbelievable that everything Didi said means nothing other than baseball sucks. That's all it means. That's all it means.
Right. Who's got the bigger problem, horse racing or baseball? That's where the argument needs to be. Which is worse?
Dude, horse racing is fine because that's what makes it fun. When you get the upsets, it's because the track is a mess. I've just never seen a track look like that before. And I've been to a lot of horse racing. I've seen tracks that have been in the rain. I've seen all that. But I'm like, oh my God. Like, I've never seen jockeys look like that at the end of a race. Like, they all were just disgusting. Like, I didn't see the guy who finished last. But holy hell.
When you're behind everybody.
Oh my God. Like, it just absolutely insane. It was like everybody's got blinders on. Like not just the horse, everybody's got him on. I don't know
Right.
how anything happened like that. And there wasn't a huge upset yesterday, but I know the favorite. Also, don't name your horse journalism. What?
Terrible.
Journalism?
You deserve to come in second.
You seriously, like you deserve to be the favorite and come in second. Like,
Yep.
and yeah, had to come all the way from the back of the pack to do it. But yeah, like, man. But anyways, had to get that off my chest, guys. Same thing happened with boxing, but yesterday I stopped myself because I was like, well, they're gonna think I'm a real big freaking weirdo.
If I drop some boxing knowledge on these folks
Like,
too.
big fights all weekend because it's Cinco de Mayo weekend. Like, it means nothing to everybody else. So yeah. All right, guys. Anyways, well, that was good off our chest. Now let's get into Brews Day, boys. Christopher, what are you sipping on?
So I had my first alcoholic drink of the year when I was in
Yes.
yeah, when I was in
Yes, boy.
California, and the first drink I had, didn't enjoy it that much, to be honest with you, but it was like the signature drink at the resort that day. Katie had 8 of them, so she liked them. So I'm going to feature it here because it was the first drink.
Let's go.
I had one and then no more. It was called a star-studded spritz. Okay, and as a beer guy, kind of, I shouldn't have gotten it. But orange prosecco, club soda, and aperol, which I didn't know what that was until then, which is, according to Google, a vibrant orange-colored Italian aperitivo, meaning it's a liquor designed to be consumed before a meal to stimulate the appetite. We've talked about appetizers before, how like originally appetizers were designed to stimulate your appetite. Now they are just a meal to feed your face before the meal. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, the star-studded spritz. I have others coming in future brews days because I had many, many different types of alcohol and I'm excited to talk about it. But that was the one. That was the first one.
I can't believe that you chose a drink that you didn't like to be the first one.
I know. You break the chain for that one. Wow, that's a shame.
It was free.
I hear you.
That's why I got it.
But it was funny when we go to brunch on Saturday and Katie's like, I did not know what an Aperol Spritz was, but now it's my favorite thing in the world.
Her and every other white woman in her 30s, though. But let's be real. Let's be real.
She liked them.
Damn.
She liked
it was like, I'm telling you, Katie said, hi, Didi. Hi, Siobhan. Aperol Spritz. Okay. This is the most amazing thing ever.
Like 8, please.
Like, it was literally the second thing after hi, it was Aperol Spritz. So
she might have like had 2 of them before she saw you. So it was the only thing on her mind. She was housing those things. Pretty good. Pretty good for her palate. Not so much mine.
Nice. All right. Well, we went to a restaurant last night. Like I said, Raj is in town. We're going to see Beyonce tonight. So we've been doing a lot of things. And last night we went to this restaurant called Funke, and we ate way too much food and drank a lot. And I had this drink called the Il Picatore mezcal, pineapple, some herbs, some fruit. And it's just like maybe the best margarita I've ever had in my life. Like, just incredible. Like, amazing. So shouts to Evan Funke, who you can watch on different chef shows, and yeah, just a great man.
Also, kind of describes how you're feeling this morning, no? Little funky.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. The kids are up. They're acting funky, but yeah, the rest of us are feeling funky.
What was the did you have a drink of choice for the derby? Did you do the mint juleps around the house yesterday? Did you have pictures of Aperol Spritz?
No, because it was honestly, it just the derby just was something that I only knew was happening. Yeah. So like I turned the TV on at like 3:00 and was just like, whoa, I didn't know that, because like I was paying attention to this week. I was just like, oh yeah, it's derby's about to be on. NBA Game 7 is gonna be on after that. Let me just put the TV on, and yeah, that was it. It wasn't like we had a derby party. It was just like,
gotcha.
Just a bunch of people were over here yesterday, but yeah, man.
Funky. Okay.
More people horse racing, guys. It's
dude. It's no. Get out of here.
Get into it.
We went to. We're never gonna get to anything here today. We went to Churchill Downs when we went to Louisville a couple weeks ago, and there was a memorial for one of the horses outside, and like the horse is buried there. And Shannon was like, why is there a horse buried here? And I basically explained to her what horse racing is and what happens in the race and what happens if one of them gets injured. And she was mortified. And she's like, we're never watching horse racing ever. She's like, how they treat these animals. I was like, oh boy, well, that's why some people don't watch it.
Don't show her boxing then with the way they treat humans.
Right. I was like, UFC's on later tonight. Should we do that too?
I don't even want to know how you explained horse racing to her. You probably explained horse racing to her the way you explain like what a hot dog is.
You know what, Dan?
Like,
go get Shannon's phone.
Yeah,
dial Dee Dee's number. Dee Dee, you take 35 minutes and you talk to Shannon about horse racing.
Explain that when the jockey's just slightly tapping them in the behind, that feels fine. It's fine. It's natural.
Just get to what you're drinking, Dan. Just get to what you're drinking.
I'll bring a beer. How about that? I'll bring a beer from East End Brewing in Pittsburgh.
In East End of Pittsburgh.
In East End of Pittsburgh. And they came out with, over the past couple of years, this like neighborhood series where they made a beer and like named it after 90 neighborhoods in Pittsburgh, which is kind of crazy. And they added a bonus one because of a second taproom location that they have in the very township that I live, and that's the Mount Lebanon. And they tapped the Mount Lebanon this past week, hazy IPA, and it was pretty unique. I like how they kind of blended some things because it starts off with kind of that like very nice natural kind of a hazy IPA, right? And then you get a little bit of juiciness, a little touch of juiciness, like white green grapes, a little bit of melon, and then you have that earthy finish like you would in a hazy. And I was like, ooh, this kind of takes you on a journey. And I like that. And as does Mount Lebanon, which is why I live here. So shout out to East End, shout out to Mount Lebanon hazy IPA. It was delicious.
Nice.
That sounds good.
Yeah. It was really good. It was, and again, it's like, this is not a typical hazy. And I like
Beautiful.
that. Yeah.
Dan, I have a question, not about that brewery or that beer, but a different Pittsburgh brewery. Dancing Gnome apparently has a new beer out called Panther Hollow Bridge. Have you had this yet?
Oh, no, I have not. I have not.
My client, Mike, you just made me think of it. My client, Mike, said he got it from there, and this was like only a week or two ago. So I think it's new.
Okay.
So
I'm going to have to get out there. Beautiful tap room.
Yeah, it's
in
like
Sharpsburg.
the nicest. Yeah.
It is. Hold on. Good heads up.
Well, that was Brews Day. Let us know what you're sipping on at Brunch Breakdown. Let's do it. All right, let's get into the main menu. Boys, let's do this. You guys had some weather.
Yeah.
Which sort of made me laugh a little bit. Hope there wasn't that much damage, but it made me laugh a little bit because Chris was just like, what is this weather out here? What is this weather out here? Whenever he was in Huntington Beach last week. And I was like, dude, it's fine. And then he goes back to a whole shit show. So literally. I got a little bit of joy. A little bit of joy out of his plight. But anyways, Christopher, you brought the topic to the table. Let's get into it.
Oh, yeah. So I posed two questions here, hypothetical, but not really. Your power is out for multiple days. What food are you saving? Okay, because experience this firsthand. You can only pick a few. Or you can only power up 1 to 2 things in your home. What are you going to power? We had to make these choices this week because, yes, my power was out for, I believe the grand total came to 50 hours.
Ooh.
And we were running on a generator for about a day and a half of that. And so we primarily went towards powering the deep freezer in my house. We moved a lot of stuff from the fridge to the deep freezer and tried to keep that stuff cold as long as we could. But at the end of the day, like even if you do that, you're still throwing away pretty much everything in the fridge. Like you're still restocking the entire fridge. So that sucked. But then we also came into the like issue of Katie and I just were on a vacation, right? And so we came back to like that normal vacation backload of work that's sitting for you. But then, the power goes out for 2+ days. Daycare's closed. So the kids are home, but we're trying to like climb out of it. But then we don't have power either. So it's like, how do we power our laptops? We don't have Wi-Fi. Like, how do we handle all this stuff? It was a absolute shit show. One of the worst weeks I can ever remember, if I'm being completely honest with you. So I eventually started getting creative with the generator and the amount of extension cords we have in this house, and started powering up some different stuff in the office. So I found some creative ways to get past it, which was helpful. But I don't know that I came to like the best conclusions. I feel like I could have done things better. So I'm interested, like, what food are you saving? What's most important to you? And keep in mind, it doesn't have to be the most responsible choices. You could pick something that's just selfish.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's really
I
selfish.
like it. I like it. And then same with power, man. You be selfish if you want to be. What do you boys think?
The first thing I thought of is we are Butcher Box subscribers. So we get Butcher Box that comes like every couple months, and we get like, steaks and stuff. I would 100% need to save that. Everything else can go away. Like, I'll figure out the rest. Like, I'm not worried about ham and peanut butter and jelly and any of the other shit that's in my refrigerator. No. We paid solid money for Butcher Box, and I need those steaks to last. Need to save them. But another thing I did think was like, I think I would have just started like grilling a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people did.
I would have just been like out there just going ham. Like, I would have just been grilling everything for 55 hours. But like, yep, we're grilling it all, fam. Like, everything. Like, putting bologna on the grill. We're just doing it. Like, we're just going at it. Like, 50, dude. It's over 2 days, man. That's like all your shit is gone. Like, your shit is toast. Like, so yeah. First thing I thought was that.
Dude, some people still don't have power. 50,000 people still don't have power.
I have a couple clients who are like, they told us May 5th, May 6th.
Yeah, they're saying Tuesday.
They called me.
That's a full week.
They called me on Friday morning and they were like, expect May 4th. And then like 8 hours later, our power came on. So like, sometimes I think they just give you that as like a worst case scenario, but like a lot of people are living the worst case scenario. Yeah.
To paint that picture, 70% of people in Allegheny County, where Pittsburgh is, had no power. Your boy was in the 30% though.
Oh, fuck you, Dan.
Now,
I always forget Dan lives in a retirement community.
I have a beer named after us, for crying out loud. You're damn right. We had no internet though the whole time. We had no internet from Tuesday, Wednesday morning to Friday morning. We had no internet or TV. So we hit the DVD collection, and my wife doesn't exactly love my DVD collection. She was like, ugh, this is terrible. And I'm like, go read a book then. I didn't say that, but that was the other option. Anyways, so I feel you. I didn't have to, but I feel you. And I'm aligned with you, Didi. I was like, meat department city, proteins, saving the proteins, chicken, pork, beef, whatever's in there. Like, screw the lettuce, screw the apples, that stuff we'll reacquire. But the protein, all about it. And then there was one other thing that is in my fridge right now that I was like, must save, pimento cheese. They have a beautiful pimento cheese spread from Greenville, South Carolina, that I found at a store up here. And I'm like, this is going to be good. And it's a precious commodity. And that's being saved. Everything else can go to hell and we'll reacquire. But the pimento cheese and the meat department, that's where I go to first. No doubt about it.
So it's a tricky thing because like we waited. Normally, I mean, you guys know my power has gone out during podcast episodes.
Yeah.
Like my power goes out a lot. So initially we thought, okay, this is going to be, it'll come back on later in the day. And then it didn't. And we're like, you know what? It went out in the evening to begin with. It'll come on overnight while we're sleeping. It normally does. And then it didn't. And then, so then we got into the next day. We're like, okay, we realistically have to start thinking about what we're going to save. But then by that time, it had been like 18, 19, 20 hours before we cut the generator on. And so then at that point, it's like, okay, well, the stuff in the fridge for the most part is like, they say don't let meat get above 40 degrees. I'm like, I'm sure that the fridge has gone up 5 degrees in 20 hours without power. So like, we just had to toss everything. So I think now it's like the minute the power goes out, I'm pulling that generator out. We're powering the fridge and the freezer. But yeah, my brain was like, anything basically that came from a cow, like we have to save it. So
Milk
I
and
landed
beef.
on cows and chickens. If it comes
Yeah.
from them, we're putting that in the freezer and we're saving it.
And look at you. Good on you getting a generator. That's a good move.
Yeah.
That's solid strategy.
I was
Good move
very
there.
surprised. When I saw that, I was like, wow. I was like, I'm not equipped for that. Because I always think about buying one of those, like, because there's like the newer generators or whatever, the whole home generators or something that's like solar power, you know. And I was like, I always think about getting one. When I saw you doing that, I was like, damn, like, I'm not equipped for power outage. I am not. I'm not ready for that.
I cannot claim like responsibility for that because
But we knew.
Yeah, I didn't say I didn't.
You didn't have to explain that.
I didn't say I was impressed with you. I just said I was impressed that you as a family have one. Like I just wanted to make sure you knew that I wasn't talking about you.
The only reason we have
Right.
one is because Katie's parents got a new one, and then we were like, we'll take.
Oh, you got the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's the marquee in the fan. But
yeah,
I
that's
knew
right.
it wasn't you. Like,
That's
I
right.
wasn't-
Yeah.
But I am a big fan of generators because of tailgating. So I was at least familiar with what they do.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I power whatever I want with this thing.
Yeah. Boy,
You
that
see-
1 to 2 items though. That's
That's it. Cows and chickens, Dan.
yeah. I know. It's
And pimento cheese.
and pimento cheese. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If it's 1 to 2 items, I immediately think refrigerator. But then I'm like, okay, well, I can grill, so I don't necessarily have to go like an appliance, right? Another appliance, an oven, a microwave. I
But
think
some
I'd have
of
to
them
go.
it's hard,
Here's the thing.
man. Some of them it's hard, like a microwave.
Yeah.
If your microwave is like the one where it's like into the wall, right? It's
Yeah,
then like getting the cord out.
How are you getting back there?
impossible. Yeah.
Right.
You can't.
right. And then like it's pointless to power up like a computer or a laptop without internet. So like picking the internet router without being able to charge your laptop is like, what's the point at that point? Because I'm like, what's one or the other? You can't have one without the other. So I'll say this, depending on the time of the year, which I think you got a little bit fortunate, perhaps, Chris, depending on the time of the year, I would say number 2 on that list is easily the air conditioner. Normally these storms are coming around summertime. That
Yeah.
I don't do well without the air conditioner. So I think I'd have to put all my eggs in that basket, which that's a lot of power though. That needs a generator on its own.
You need a special generator.
But
for that.
you made no restrictions, so give it to me.
That's true. That's true. I did not specify.
Yeah.
I'll grill my pork and pimento cheese, and I'll be in the cold inside, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, like I wanted to TV's a big one because also you said you didn't have Wi-Fi. Shouts to all you cord cutters out there.
Yeah,
How
I know. I was like, oh, I need one of those
How'd
special
that
antennas to
do
watch
you for?
regular TV. Even I was like,
Mhm.
ugh.
Yeah, I'm like, how'd that do for you? Yeah, see, that's why I can't. I just can't do it. Every time I get really close, I'm like, YouTube TV sounds great. I've seen it. I've messed around with it. I'm like, oh man, YouTube TV, that's it. Then power outage. Wait, no, I mean, no Wi-Fi. Wait, what? Huh? Oh, yeah. So, yeah. So
Well,
no.
I'll end with this. It was deep freezer and fridge. Those were my 2. But I did periodically start unplugging the fridge to plug in the coffee maker.
Okay. Okay.
That tracks. Yeah,
But yeah.
that's what we need. We need to know how long can. I'm sure this information is out there. Why is this not common knowledge? How long can a fridge go without power before you have to make that decision? Open it up, let it, because everybody wants to try to save the cold, the cool feeling inside. It's going to keep things cold. I need a time. There's got to be a time, an average for most refrigerators where you say 8 hours, we're done, open it up. We gotta.
It's 2 days.
2 days?
It's 2 days. It's 48 hours. But the thing is, you can't open it. That's the problem. So like most people are like, I gotta open it because once you open it, then
ball game.
It's ball game. Like you might as well just start taking everything out. But it's like the whole thing is you can't open it. So
But when
once
you get to
open
48, then you
it
have
goes
to
away.
though.
Yeah, you got to get.
Is it really that long?
Yeah, that's how long it is. It's like most that's the average. So and that's been that way for a long time. So like maybe there's different technology and all that. Maybe it lasts a little bit longer. I don't know. But it's like it's 48 hours, but once you open it, then that's when it shuts down. That's the hard part is like not opening it to get shit out.
Yeah.
Because like if you have no power for 55 hours, you gotta eat. So like
Yeah.
you gotta get shit out your fridge. So
Rallies.
once you open it, it's
You gotta eat.
it's a wrap. But yeah, it's 48 hours, but you can't open it.
I did
That's
I
the
did a
thing.
lot of Googling on that topic, Dan. And yeah, I mean, it seems like it's also dependent on the food item. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
because what I saw was like a lot of stuff was 24 hours, 48 hours in a fridge, maybe even up to 3 days in a deep freezer. But like with meat, it was like 4 to 8 hours and then you're screwed. Because like bacteria starts forming on the meat.
Right. That's when you have to make the decision. Do we open this up and try to save everything, or do we try to hold out hope and just throw away the meat? Boy. All right.
Fun times.
Good times. Well, I'm happy you have power again. That's nice.
It
Good
is
for
nice.
you.
Never lost it, but thanks for anyways.
Thanks for the heads up, Dan.
Yep, no problem. I'll run an
Oh
extension.
my
We need to run an
God.
extension cord from my house to yours next time.
20 minutes away, you know.
Yeah, sitting here fine.
All right. Real quick. NFL draft was a couple weeks ago. Shedeur Sanders was the whole story of the draft, which was just got to be like most things in sports these days, just overkill. And but there was one story was that he got prank called on the second day of the draft by someone who called. He thought it was a team because they had like the phone that was literally like the bat phone. That was
Yeah.
just like the only people who have this are NFL personnel. Gets a call and it's someone pranks him and says, "Hey Shedeur, you're gonna have to wait longer." And it happened to be the son of a Atlanta Falcons coordinator who got the number off of his dad's laptop or
Yep.
iPad. And he did this and also videotaped this with his 3 friends and put it on, and they posted it on the internet as well. And the Atlanta Falcons, as a whole organization, got fined $350,000 for this by the NFL, and his dad got fined $100,000. Boys, what would happen to you if you cost your parents $100,000?
Wouldn't be pretty. Like I'd be grounded anywhere from 6 months to a year. Definitely no car privileges. No hanging out with friends on the weekends. Community service. That's a lot of money. And even for the
$100,000.
even for like the Falcons defensive coordinator, I'm sure he makes a nice amount of money. Probably not millions on millions on millions, but like it's still a lot.
$100,000.
You're paying for everything moving forward. No, like any, hey, can I borrow? Hey, allowance. None of that. That's gone literally forever. Boy, it wouldn't be pretty. It wouldn't be pretty. I might as well be living without power like Chris did for 55 hours. Might as well be that. Might as well be that.
I don't know, man. I just know that my parents did not mess around. Like when I would not do the things I was supposed to do, I know that there were threats. And so then if something tangibly happened to this degree,
Chris is like, my punishments are hard enough. I can't imagine what
Dude.
this would
like
be.
I mean, like in what phase of, I guess this would be like while you're still under their care. Like I would probably go into very large student loan debt, you know? Like
Yep.
they wouldn't have helped me with college, probably.
Right.
That's probably it.
Dinner would be slices of bologna under the door every evening.
Dan's in a jail cell here.
For sure. Definitely in a
Dude.
jail cell.
All I could think of was the kid, not the kid. No, he's 22. Okay. The guy was 22 years old. My dad would have took me outside and said, "We're going to fight." That's just what would have happened. My dad would have
Jeez.
been outside. We're going to fight. Like, I just know that's what would have happened. And like, because I just don't know what else you do when your son does something so stupid. Like, this wasn't even him getting in trouble with the law. This wasn't whatever.
Yeah, right.
It's like you quite possibly like almost cost your dad his job. Like his dad has to go into the Falcons office. Like he's probably helping the janitors out. He's probably trying to help cook team meals. He might be cleaning jock straps. Like, he might just be like, I got to do everything I possibly can. I got to keep this job. I got to keep this job. And he better be a nice person too. Because think about that. Like, think about how many like a-holes you've worked with or whatever, where it's just like people are like, man, I'm telling you, that dude makes one mistake, he's fucking out of here. But like, if you're the nice guy, you can make mistakes all the time. People are like, don't worry about it. That's just Jeff over there in accounting. He's all right. He's all right. He'll learn. But I'm telling you, man, that guy better be a good hang, because you could like the Falcons. If we find out like Falcons have a bad start to the season, he will be the first person gone. And they will just be like, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
Just because him. And he may never get an NFL job again. So I hope, like, I don't know what his backup plan is, but I'm sure he's making somewhere well into six figures right now. And his kid just cost him $100,000. I'm telling you, it would be a fight. I think you have to fight your kid if that happens. You have to.
Didi's dad's
you have to fight your kid.
How much does blood cost?
Dude,
Because you're gonna lose $100,000 of blood.
yeah, I just don't know. No, this wasn't a bad investment. This was just you being dumb. And you cost me $100,000. Like, this wasn't you getting a DUI. This wasn't you doing, like, this was, because there's nothing that, because a lot of serious situations where like you cost your parents money, you can be like, all right, maybe he needs help. Maybe we need to like figure some stuff out. Like, da da da. No, this is not. No, you just wanted to go viral.
Like, and here's the thing: it wasn't even funny. The execution was so bad.
No,
he calls Shedeur and says, I think he said, "Hey, this is the Saints GM." He's like, "We're gonna take you with our next pick," and he's like, "Oh, awesome." He's like, "But you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer." Sorry about that, man. What?
Dude.
And like, if you watch the video on Shedeur's side, he's confused. Everybody's confused. They're like, am I being taken? It was terrible execution.
Yeah.
Terrible. If you're going to do it, at least be good at it. Be funny. Wasn't funny at all. At least be funny. Come on.
Yeah. It was.
Also, do you think, here's an honest question. Because there were other prank calls to other players, right? But they haven't traced back who it was yet, and certainly haven't traced it back to a team. If this prank call was to anybody but Shedeur Sanders, is this fine as big as it is? Because I don't think so. I think because of the high-profile nature of the entire story of Shedeur, Deion's kid, all of that matters. And I don't think the fine is as heavy if this is some random tight end from Iowa taken in the third round. It doesn't go as viral. It's not as big as the story. We're sure shit probably not talking about it. So I don't think it's 100,000 plus 250, 350. I don't think it's that high.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it is either, but maybe I don't know. Maybe it is because of the way that it all went down. Because like at first it was like, oh, that sucks. And then I guess it happened to somebody last year or something and people were like talking about it, but it wasn't like a big deal. Mm-hmm. I just think it just had to do with the fact that like ESPN had cameras there. So the draft was on like 4 channels. So everyone saw this. And then when the video came out of him and his friends, like, it was a calculated thing. Like they full did it. That's what I think is kind of like what made it so bad. Is it like the story kept building. It was like how'd they get the number? Oh, the only people who had the number were like NFL teams. So it was like when you have to do like an investigation, I think that's really what pissed people off. This wasn't just like random dude who got the number off somebody's girlfriend and just like decided to hit them up. It was like, no, this was like inside stuff and it looks really bad. I think that's what it was. Like if this were you getting the number because you knew somebody's girlfriend who knew Shedeur and you took the number, I don't think there's a fine for the Atlanta Falcons. But when it's in-house, that's when it's like, yeah, I think you got to do it.
That reminds me, Chris, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah, I called Bill Belichick in high school and I didn't get.
We got Bill Belichick's phone number and we left him plenty of messages.
See,
let me tell you,
never find
plenty of messages.
There would have been no fine.
Right, and by the way, the NFL they should not be fine. They shouldn't profit any more off this. Day 3 TV ratings for the draft were up 43%.
Yeah,
than the year before. So like, they should be paying the Falcons. They should be paying the defensive coordinator for. Thank you for these ratings, my friends.
Yeah, you know what?
Thank
man?
you. We've profited off of this. We're going to give you some of the money because we get a hell of a weekend thanks to this.
That's a great point. Like we during draft weekend was when we were in California, and it was a work thing for Katie, like it's a big thing with her entire company, and like most of the people we were there with like weren't huge football fans, but a lot of people were talking about Dion's kid not getting drafted. Like it was a big.
Huge.
Because of the emotions and because of like the star status, it became a very big like pop culture topic.
Yeah. And also like it was on ABC, Good Morning America, all the shows that just like the general public watch and put on, and it's on in airports and it's on all these things. Like that's where the NFL draft is like great airport viewing. So like I'm sure everywhere anybody went, that's just what it was. Like I heard more people talking about that than I heard people talking about games that went on during the season. Like everyone and their mother was talking about this because the draft is meant to be emotional, and then you got all the emotional.
Yeah.
So
I actually broke the news to Didi that the Browns drafted Shedeur, and
what was that
I had
like?
no idea.
What was that like?
Through a brief conversation, we actually deduced that he is going to be the one that saves the Browns. So
no,
I did not say that. What I did,
it's like I did not see that.
What I did say was like, we need Shedeur to be now the greatest quarterback of all time because we need to hear about these meetings. And if Shedeur is just an average, like Teddy Bridgewater quarterback and just like, Chase Daniel, he's just a great hang. And so like, he just hangs out all the time. And we're never going to hear about the draft. We're never going to hear about the pre-draft meetings that everyone's talking about.
Right.
But if he ends up being great, even great for 2 seasons, we're going to get the 30 for 30 on Shedeur's draft meetings.
Ooh, that's fascinating.
And we need them. Because I'm like, remember when MGK, right before he did like a year before he did like the punk rock album or whatever, there were all these videos of him like at the record label dancing on tables and shit. I'm like, is it something like that? Like I just need to know, like, there are all these stories about musicians doing crazy stuff like this. Like when Kanye was like trying to get College Dropout out and there's all these crazy stories about all this stuff that he did. And people were just looking at him like he was like this guy, like whatever. He produced Jay-Z's albums. Like us, we got to sit in this meeting. And I just wonder, like, what did you do in there? Like, I just got to know, but we won't know unless he ends up being either the greatest quarterback of all time or like the worst quarterback of all time. So it's like, we can't have middle. It needs to be one or the other so we can find out about this.
That's a good point.
Well, I know we need to get to music, but I'll just say my take on it is they always draft a first round quarterback and it never works. And so I think like actually the guy who was supposed to be in the first round falling to the third round, expectations changing for him, the Browns pick him up. The Browns picked him as their second quarterback of the draft. Like he's probably going to be the one that goes on to have a good career for the Browns. Like it just makes too much sense to me because everything the Browns try to do doesn't work. So this thing they kind of fell into, I bet you is the thing that actually works. And if they just like stop using their brains, they would be better than they are when they try. So
or it'll be like Dylan Gabriel, who literally nobody is talking about, the one that picked before Shedeur.
Well,
it'll end up being hit. That could also be like the fascinating part. It's like, oh, by the way, he becomes like the next Baker Mayfield, and then he balls out and they let him go.
All the video clips of like Browns fans and Browns management over the year drafting guys like Johnny Manziel, and they're all hugging in the draft room. When they drafted Shedeur, everybody looked like they didn't want to do it. This guy is gonna win.
Because it was Jimmy Haslam's
games.
Call, right?
He's gonna win 13 games as a Browns quarterback. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I promise you.
I just think that like when I saw the Browns draft room, I'm like, Kevin Stefanski, like I believe a lot of the things what had to do with Dion, and like Kevin Stefanski, no question, is like, fam, if we don't do good next season, by week 6, people are going to be talking about Dion taking this job.
Yeah,
like don't let Colorado be 4-0. It doesn't matter who they beat. And the Browns are 0-3 to start the season.
That's why he didn't want to take that pick. He's like, this is the
pick.
end of my career here because and it's the owner saying pick him. He's like shit.
because like
This
Chris
is-
is saying, I know my Browns.
There you
and
go.
I
There
know
you
that
go.
they are not far away from grabbing up Deion Sanders to be coach, because why the hell not? You're the
Yeah.
Browns. You aren't the
Mhm.
Steelers. You're the Browns. Like,
Amazing.
why the hell not? Yeah, I know that's why Kevin Stefanski was like, I can't. If I have to say, we can't do this. We can't, for
Right.
me, and I
Right.
just can't do it. So yeah. All right, boys, let's get into music. Let's do this. All right, what are we listening to? Christopher, what's up?
I have no idea. It's hard to listen to too much music when nothing has a charge to it. So my week's been a shit
true.
show.
What have you been doing? What were you doing on those airplanes when you weren't listening to the pilots? Listening to 21 Pilots?
No, doing a lot of work on the plane. That's actually one of the best places to do work. It's amazing.
You're like, we're without power. Let me just take a couple plane rides. I can at least get a charge, some Wi-Fi up there.
Seriously, man. Might have been more cost efficient than premium gas fuel in my house. Keep Flying put out an album, though. They're a great ska band, so I will listen to that and provide something. That's my first.
Nice. Daniel, what you got?
Beach Bunny. Yeah, Beach Bunny. If you're not familiar with Beach Bunny, she's a really, 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 really great like pop rock singer, and she's got a new song out called Just Around the Corner. It'll get stuck in your head. Great chorus. She's the real deal. She's the real deal. So keep an eye out. Beach Bunny. Check out Just Around the Corner.
Beach Bunny. Would they be signed to your record label?
No.
Okay.
Too attractive.
Too attractive.
Too attractive.
Got it.
She wouldn't make the cut.
Got it. All right. I'm gonna ask you that about every band that you say
Ooh,
on
okay,
here
all right.
that I don't know. I'm gonna ask you that question.
All right.
Okay. All right. So found this new music playlist because I was driving to San Diego on Friday, so I was listening to a lot of music. And guys, Zeddy Will, Back. This song, I'm not saying this is gonna be the song of the summer because I have no idea how popular this song is gonna be, but it's Zeddy Will and French Montana. And I do not like French Montana, but when I do like French Montana, it's always great. And he is featured on this song. The beat's amazing. This is great. I don't know who Zeddy Will is, but all I know is this song's awesome. So Back, Zeddy Will, get used to hearing this song outside at certain places this summer, because I have a feeling it's just good. This song is really, really, really freaking good. So yeah, Zeddy Will, Back, featuring French Montana.
Dude, French Montana, like Charlie Batch type of career, right? Just like start off like great, just never caught the big break, but have been around a long time.
Long time. Still sounds the same. But when he's good, he's good. Like I wouldn't start him, but like
right.
if you need to,
but if we need
listen,
to,
quarterback goes down in the third, you need to, you know what I mean? The quarterback needs a shot of cortisone or something like that. You need to get a drive going, get in field goal range. French Montana is your guy.
He's not Joe Montana. He's French Montana, and he's like Charlie Batch. There it is.
Oh my God. Okay. Worcester put out an acoustic version of their song 3 Days Sober. Again, haven't listened to it, but I'm sure it's great.
Ringing endorsement. Next one for me
sad
is
podcast for Chris this week.
Right.
It's a drink he doesn't like. His power was out for 3 days.
He's like, I don't know.
The Browns are going to win the Super Bowl.
But
It's
yeah,
all fucked. Okay, let's keep going.
Next one for me is from Ren for Short, and as Chris loves to hear and see me say, Ren for Short, one name, RenForShort, one word, Ren for Short. Been a minute. She's no stranger to the playlist, but frankly, it's been a minute. And I remember seeing her open for a show a couple years ago, following her ever since. She's got this great like alternative pop rock kind of mix going on, and her new song is called Feeling Good, and it makes me feel good. And she would absolutely not be welcome at my record label. She just not for her. But thank you, Run for Short, Feeling Good.
It's like a compliment whenever you get dissed.
Yeah, right. It is. Frankly, it is.
Like,
I'm sorry, you're far too good looking. It's just not going to work for you here.
They said our music was great, but they told us we looked too good. So
we weren't ugly enough.
Good. All right.
Ugly records.
All right, so these two songs I'm throwing on here, I found because of this hilarious Instagram by this guy who is just like, let's find rappers from different states in the country and highlight them. And so he has this Instagram where he's like, all right, this is what rap in Mississippi sounds like. And then just like plays like half of a song from a rapper in a random place like Montana or something. And I found 2 songs off this dude's Instagram. One is called Duffy's Bluff by a dude named Ryan Charles. I can't remember where he's from, somewhere in the Midwest. And this dude from the South, his name was Fletchy Too Fat. And the song is called No Actin'.
Sign him. I got him. That's my dude.
Actually, both of these dudes could be signed
both
to
of them are.
could be signed to Butterface Records. Yeah, both of these guys could be signed to them. But I'm telling you, these 2 songs are so freaking good. They are so good. But anyways, yeah, I forget what the dude's Instagram is, but I was on it for so long the other day. I really need to find it while you guys do songs, so I can actually say what that guy's name is, because these songs are so good.
I know exactly who you're talking about, Didi. I saw the Duffy's Bluff one too. This dude goes his like handle on Instagram is Jiggy's Buckaroo. Like the most random. But that's not the dude that reviews the songs. But I listened to Duffy's Bluff and I was like, this song goes harder than anything I've heard in the last like 5 years. It's it is so good. It is everything else he's put out kind of sucks, but this one song is so good. It is so good.
Stupid good. Like I was like, because I tried to listen to a couple songs of both these artists, and I was like, no, but why is this song the greatest song I've ever heard? Like it sounds like 3 6 Mafia. It sounds like it's just like that Mississippi, or I think he's from Mississippi, but whatever. The sound is. I was like, this is. I don't know. Like you just I just remember when that sound was very popular at a time, and it just is like, oh, I'm like, what? Yeah. But random Instagram.
Yeah. Then I'll follow up because I did find one on that dude's Instagram. This dude named Token. He has a song called Duck Hunter, and he sounds like Eminem in this song. Like it's unbelievable. I don't know where this dude on Instagram is finding these people, but I think this kid is from Massachusetts, and he's just like in an alleyway, angry for 2.5 minutes. It's insane. So put that one on there.
Just in an alleyway, angry. I love it.
That's Eminem, isn't it?
Yes,
it is. And the last one for me is from the Mowgli's. They are back, boys. First time since 2020. They took a break. Didn't know if they were coming back. And they are. Always positive. Always good vibes. All the time. We've got some familiar hits you've probably heard of. I'm Good, San Francisco. Those are the classics. But they're back with a song called Change, and it's classic Mowgli's. So happy to have them back.
They had to rest their group vocals, Dan, so that they could come back.
It's true. They got that family type of vibe there. A lot of group vocals. Big fan.
I could put new music on the playlist, but I'm going to do this because I had a moment in the car. So Omi, Cheerleader, I'm putting on the playlist.
Wow.
Would you like to know how old that song is, ladies and gentlemen?
Ooh,
Chris is like, absolutely not.
15?
Nope. It is officially 10 years old. 10 years old. Officially 10 years old. Omi's Cheerleader. And it didn't hit me until Saoirse, I think they're doing some like dance to that song and her like she's got like a big recital coming up, and she was like, listen, so basically all the songs she tells me to play that are like random songs that I know, it's like, oh yeah, you must be doing a dance to this. So she's like, I want to listen to Omi's Cheerleader. So listen to Omi's Cheerleader, and she's singing it in the back, and I was like, oh my God, like that song came out. I remember playing that on the radio for the first time and was like, oh shit, that song's 10 years old. Holy crap. Like,
wow.
10 years old. So yeah. Omi, Cheerleader. Hey, and also still goes.
Omi
still
the
goes.
homie.
That trumpet in that song, still amazing. Amazing. So yeah. Anyways, boys, that's what we're listening to. Make sure you check out the playlist on Spotify. Tell Siri, tell Alexa to play the sounds of Brunch. Also, tell Rufus to get your Omi t-shirt. Assholes. Any final thoughts on the Brunch Breakdown other than Rufus exists?
Couldn't believe it.
Unreal.
You're welcome.
I after we've spent the greater part of an hour together here, back good to be back with you boys again. But from this point forward, I just don't want to live in a world where Chris Gates can keep his meat freezer collection running while most of the county doesn't have power, and then like we can't hear an airplane pilot when he's like giving us emergency instructions. Just this isn't a world I want to live in.
Listen, that's a high bar to set because I take very good care of my meat.
That's the Brunch Breakdown. We're out.